As part of the efforts to make arts accessible and to empower emerging visual artists, the eThekwini Municipality has embarked on a city-wide mural project known as Intellectual Empowerment that promotes literacy through the arts. Now, artists were selected through an open call, and those shortlisted were required to interpret the concept of reading as an exercise that leads to intellectual empowerment. The Durban Art Gallery is currently working on 10 public libraries making murals which speak to reading as an intellectual empowerment. But to tell us more, we are joined from our Durban studios by Thembinkosi Ngcobo, the head of Parks Recreation Culture Unit. Ngcobo, a very good morning to you and a warm welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning to you, Simpiwe, and the viewers. Thank you.
Okay, please indulge us, if you can, on what intellectual empowerment is in the context of promoting literacy through the arts.
Yes, Simpiwe, this program can be understood within the context of a designation or recognition given to us by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, better known as UNESCO, and that was in 2017. And the reason why they recognize us as a seat of literature was because basically of the availability of quality and quantitative publishing industry. Secondly, a network of libraries that we have as a city. And then thirdly, the programs that we have to promote literacy in the city. When it comes to libraries, for instance, we have a network of about 102 libraries which have a book values of about 1.2 billion rands, and these are available to 3.5 of our citizens. And because of this program, and also the activities that we do that include Articulate Africa and also One City, One Book, were then recognized as a city of literature. But it then means that we have to now go further and sell this program of empowering people through reading by going into communities and encourage them to visit their libraries and also to read. So by us going into communities, it means we have to have very creative ways of especially targeting young people. So this project of creating murals in all our libraries, but for now 10 of them, is a way then of using another sector which is part of the creative network in the world to ensure that young people who have the skills and the knowledge and those that would like to get involved in creative arts, visual arts, then become part of this program. That is how, in our view, we then introduce them to reading culture, to develop them and empower them intellectually.
You speak of visiting some of the communities, but then the municipality, I do understand, intends making art services accessible throughout the city by marrying it with the exercise of reading. So how will this be done?
Yes, what we have already done now, as you said initially, we did a public call where we invited members of the community to submit and say to us, what do they understand by being empowered intellectually through reading. So we wanted them to capture this graphically as artists. So those that then submitted and those presentations met our requirements, then they were then chosen to go into these 10 libraries where then they're going to do their artworks, so that we then use these artworks to educate members of the community. But at the same time, we are empowering them as part of our requirement that this is how we're going to be introducing more especially young people from disadvantaged areas, because as you know, visual arts is seen as only a preserve of those that are empowered and also the middle classes. So by using this platform, we're then saying to young people who have never had an opportunity, if you have the skill, if you have the know-how, so come to us, we'll then make 20 million rands available so that all our 102 libraries do have this graphic representation of what it means to be intellectually empowered through reading. So that is how then we promote at the same time their empowerment economically, but at the same time to ensure that people do get into the culture of reading. And then thirdly, that the city, as we have about 27 million rands book budget, that we do encourage our people within the city to write, so that you can then buy those books so that they are stocked in all our libraries.
As this project is chiefly about intellectual empowerment, essentially, empowering artists on their artistic and literary prowess. So how does this program aim to empower artists economically speaking?
Yes, as I've indicated now, we have a budget of 20 million rands. By the time we're done with all 102 libraries, we'll have been able to identify young people, especially in communities, who have the skill, who will then be empowered through our Durban Art Gallery, so that they are able to capture and pass on the message as to what it means to be intellectually developed. So if we're to do that, these people are able to then earn an income through their talents, and also they get given a platform and introduced into the broader area of visual arts. And then also through this program, we are targeting more especially the middle class, black families, black individuals, for them to begin to invest in arts. Because without a market, these people, even if they were to introduce into this sector, if they are not able to dispose of their artworks and get an income, so this sector is not going to grow. So in other words, through this program, we are promoting the cultural tourism and also the creative sector, so that they become a leading part of the economy of the city. We are trying to push through this program our economy to be more knowledge-based, so that then we are able to get young people more especially to come and be part of the city, live in the city and study in the city, because that is how we want to be known as a city of Durban.
Great initiative this is, Mr. Ngcobo. Thank you so much for chatting to us about it. Much appreciated. Well, that was Thembinkosi Ngcobo talking to us about the Intellectual Empowerment Project, which will see artists using public libraries as murals. Now, this project, as I just mentioned, will promote literacy through the arts, and will also use artists from disadvantaged backgrounds.